Hello everybody. I'm still in my office filming here. It's going to be echoey probably again, hopefully. The audio is okay, but today I'm going to make a video that I've been kind of thinking about making for the last, how long? A while. Really since I got to I guess the point I'm at in transition, which I think is kind of a bit more solid or something, or a bit more, I'm more confident, or I just kind of live as I am now and I don't really think about it nearly as much as I used to. But what's this topic I'm going to talk about? That's kind of one that I've seen from a few people, and I think it's probably vastly more interesting coming from other people than me. But I'm going to put my 2 cents in anyway. And that is kind of finding your inner woman, or how you kind of become the woman that you are, despite the fact that you were born a guy and raised as a guy and all that stuff. So the reason I think my answer is kind of boring and not particularly, intriguing in any way, is that basically what I did, I kind of watched these kind of videos. One's from Girl of All Seasons, another one is from Natalie. And I watched these more when I was watching Girl of All Seasons a lot. It's like, oh yeah, right, this is a thing that I need to do, or how am I gonna ever be a natural woman? It's never gonna work. But really, it's funny because I watched her talk about it and kind of talk about giving up some of the guy stuff, or kind of the mannerisms and all this. I thought, I'm gonna have to put effort into this. I'm gonna have to be super focused on what I am and I'm not doing and all this whatever. But the really funny thing is I've realized that the best way for me to kind of come to who I am now, pretty naturally as a woman, is to not think about it. It's the complete opposite of what you should do when trying to solve a problem. It's how many other problems in your life or anxieties, completely ignoring it actually solves your problem. I honestly just don't think about it anymore, really, at all. And I think, so here's kind of my explanation for this. And this is something I've noticed and I've kind of thought about. The reason that kind of just not thinking about it worked was because kind of inside I've always been female. And it was stopping by not thinking about it. I was kind of just letting my kind of natural self come to the surface. I think some of this was kind of evident beforehand anyway. For example, people used to think I was gay a lot. So I must have had some sort of presumably feminine mannerisms or ways of communicating with people. Because typically that's what people think, when they think someone's gay, they kind of also break gender norms or something. So I think, you just gotta let your natural self come to the surface. But I think guys, if I tried to act like a guy, I couldn't do it. It would look really silly. And I actually have kind of tried not very seriously, but kind of I'll do imitations of guys and it looks like a woman imitating a guy. I wonder if that's actually how I looked before. I don't know. But my explanation on this would be that I think what's going on is, so when we're growing up, we kind of learn how to be human. Humans are very much, I think of them like other animals are kind of Macs, like Mac computers, and that they have a lot of software built into them and they kind of can just work on their own and like kind of out of the box. You can never do everything that you need to do. So if you want your Mac to be more video editing, it can be that. If you want it to be music, you can do that. If you want it to be your personal computer that you just do your emails and whatever, you can do that. But humans are PCs. And not just PCs, but like you build it, you shape who you are as a person after the fact, out of the box. It's kind of a blank slate, and you have to really shape what you want your computer to be. So that's my really weird explanation. I think we're these very kind of, we grow up and we learn a lot. Babies, if you're ever around children or babies, they're constantly learning. So I think what happened with me or other trans people or whatever is essentially what happened is, since we kind of identify ourselves as kind of the opposite sex from a very young age, I think we kind of pick up on those cues from kind of the sex that we think we are. So essentially we kind of socialize ourselves as, like for me, as a woman or as a girl. But then kind of this kind of pressure to be the other thing kind of kicks in, and you're like, right, I've got to suppress all this stuff. I've got to hide this part of me. I've got to do whatever. So that ultimately is what I think is coming to the surface. Like, why can I do all these mannerisms and seem feminine? I think it's to do with just the fact that initially I just took in all these female cues from the world around me. And I kind of just, when I no longer had to hide that, I was able to just put that out there in a very natural way. So that's why I say, like, not thinking about it is the best thing. And I know, like, it's probably hard for people to imagine entirely because, like I said, it's just not how you tend to, like, it's not a good idea for how to solve problems. Just ignore them. But I'm telling you, if you stop worrying about, am I being feminine enough? Am I being perceived as feminine? Like, trust me, within, like, kind of my group of girlfriends, like, I am probably, like, I have a lot of very tomboyish friends who are girls. So I often come off as, like, the most feminine one, which is really funny. Like, a lot of them, like, talk like this, and, like, really low, and, like, kind of whatever. And, like, I don't. I kind of talk with a more soft voice, and all this other stuff. And I mean, it's not like they're less of a woman or anything like that. Just saying, it's like, you don't have to be this ultra, like, stereotype. Don't be a stereotype. Like, don't just say, like, right, so I'm a woman now. I've got to talk with a really high voice, or I have to, I don't know, do something that isn't natural to who I am. Like, if you turn out to be a more rough and tumble, masculine person, or stereotypically fit those stereotypes, that's fine. And if you turn out to be really frou-frou, frilly, whatever, that's fine too. don't think about it. Don't worry about that. Don't give that more time in your head than it needs to be, because it really doesn't need to take up that much space. Don't worry about that stuff. Just be you, because that's the whole point of transition, is to just be genuine. And yeah, that's my advice. Hopefully people have found this helpful. Yeah, let me know if you've transitioned, if you think what I'm saying makes any sense. If you haven't transitioned and you're just here to learn about trans stuff, or give me hate comments, let me know in the comments what you think. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.